Well, with the need to spend less becoming more predominant in the consumer market, they are actively seeking out how to get the best bang for the buck. Retailers have responded by becoming more innovative. Many have added loyalty programs to their brands. Joining us now for a look at the challenges and benefits of these reward schemes are Sugendri Reddy, Head of Personal Markets at Standard Bank, and Gareth Pearson, CEO of BMI Research. Welcome, thanks for joining us. Sugendri, whenever I go to these retailers, I've become more aware of it in the last year or two. They say, have you got a loyalty card? Have you got a card, Clicks card, Pick and Pay card, whatever it is. And it almost will make your life easier if you say, no, I haven't, because they want you to take one. Does it make a difference to shoppers? Does it make a difference to the retailers?
Yes, definitely. Customers now see this as a hygiene factor. So if you don't have a loyalty program, they think twice whether they should shop with you or they should bank with you. So it's absolutely important. From a bank point of view or from a retailer, we also see an advantage from a retention point of view and acquisition of new clients.
Gareth, in terms of how do you perceive this from a BMI perspective?
David, I think just to add to what Sugendri said, shoppers are under enormous pressure and are seeking value, and I think that's the key driver to this, is that it's just a response from retailers, from manufacturers, everyone in the space to provide the value that the shopper is now actively seeking.
Sugendri, what are the sort of numbers here that we're talking about? So they've got the card, that's a cost for them. They have to provide the cost, they have to mail it to you or you collect it and so on. Yeah. There are loyalty programs, there are crossover loyalty programs, so that if you have a program with one shop, you can go to another shop, different chain, and it counts. So, but how does all this translate into money?
Okay, so it costs the retailers or banks a huge amount of money to roll out this program. So most loyalty programs will charge you a membership fee. So at Standard Bank, our membership fee is 20 Rand. However, if you think about the benefits you get, that 20 Rand, you'll get more than that 20 Rand.
Give me an example of the benefits that I wouldn't have if I didn't take the card.
So, example, at Standard Bank, for every litre of fuel that you fill up at a Caltex station, you get 1 Rand off your petrol. So if you think about it, just filling up 600 Rand worth of petrol, you got 60 Rand off. That far pays off your 20 Rand that you paid with the membership. You normally get a membership fee charge because it's as you described, it's crossover with multiple supplies. So we have to pay for those supplies as well. Normally you don't charge any fees if it was a closed loop. So if you, example, Clicks. If you get a Clicks card, there's no fee to it, but you can only get and spend in Clicks. So that's how the fee works. It costs, the membership fee is generally very small that the consumer has to pay, but it costs the retailer or the banks a lot of money to actually manage this program.
Interesting. So it sounds like it should be making the money, but they're obviously offsetting it as a brand development, as getting other people into the shops that wouldn't get there. In terms of the value that they're getting out of this, are we getting value? Let's start with us, the consumer. Are we getting value? Are we actually making money back? I mean, it's obvious with the petrol loyalty things. I mean, eBucks is another one, where they claim to get 15% back. You use your eBucks that you get from your loyalty to buy petrol.
Yes, I think there's the basic intrinsic value that is obvious to the consumer as well. But I think behind that, it offers the brand owner or the retailer the opportunity to start unpacking some of the purchase patterns, and perhaps that's where the longevity of the offer is, because in unpacking that and looking at the analytics behind shopper habits, they can better position their offers. In other words, get better offers even regionally and at a store level now, which wasn't previously available. So I think there's a short-term benefit and there's a long-term benefit, which is having the right product available for you at your store or where you're consuming something.
So can a retailer afford not to have a loyalty program now, a big retailer?
I don't think so. Consumers are demanding for more. They want to see value. So you have to start offering some sort of value. Whether the customer understands that value is a different story, because I don't think there's so many programs around. People don't know how to manage this. There are some loyalty junkies that actually know how to get the best benefit by paying with this card, buying with another card, settling with another card, and that's how you get your points. But there's very few people out there like that actually understands the program. So consumers, although they need it and they want it, not need it, they actually want it.
So it sounds like it's very emotional. You know, I've got this card, so therefore I'm getting a good deal, but they don't take the deal.
That's it.
I've got document here from Audrey Meyer, master's student in the Department of Marketing Management, Pretoria University. She did a survey of two competing retailers. So in other words, let's say Pick n Pay and Clicks, for example. Now I've got the card for both of them. Now, how is that working if I'm supporting both of them, Sigendri?
So then a loyalty program is actually supposed to draw you to one brand. That's why we would spend so much of money to actually put it out. So if you've got multiple and competing products, you're actually not going to get the benefit. So if you think about the launch of our program, the more products you have with us, the higher the tier you're getting to, and the more benefits you get. So all programs work like that because we see it as an acquisition and retention tool. And we also see it as changing behavior. Example, if we don't want customers to withdraw lots of cash, so we wouldn't give them points for the cash, but if they swipe their cards, they get lots of points for it. So we also use it to change customer behavior to actually aid us in reducing our cost to the bank to fund this program.
Gareth?
I think the card is, when a consumer or shopper uses the card, that's the end result. But I think what we're seeing as well is more and more pre-investigation prior to going to do the purchase. So there's a lot more focus on seeking the value around picking up broadsheets, which has always been there, but there's a tremendous focus now. We're seeing more and more people shopping unashamedly down the aisle, holding their broadsheet, or if they're more tech savvy, which is obviously a big growing trend in South Africa, they've actually got it online and they've pre-programmed and looked at some sort of saving before they've gone into that store. So I think the loyalty card is the end result of that transaction, but there's a lot more thought and science going into it from the shopper now.
Well, let me be a cynical consumer here. If they're all doing it and it all costs them money, I'm paying for this in the end because that's a cost I would think that has to be passed on. Just like the beer company, when there's a customs and excise increase, they pass it straight on to the customer. They don't pay that tax increase. So are your fees higher as a result, Sigendri?
No, we actually took it out of our bottom line. So you would see most loyalty programs you have to do, because it's a hygiene factor, it will have to come out of your bottom line rather than putting more cost onto a customer.
How do you measure that though? I mean, do you know at this point, can you go into the office today and say, this is how much money we have made in the last month from the loyalty card, or that it's fluctuated, we've lost some?
So we will know how much money we made because we have to pay the various suppliers, because we don't have a closed loop. You know, we tied up with many suppliers. So it cost us money. We have to pay those suppliers. So we know exactly how much it cost us. It comes out of our bottom line. However, we see it as we'll acquire more customers. Customers will feel that they are valued and there's a retention. So a long term, we see the benefit. We will get more customers to pay for that program.
How does this tie in, Gareth, with buy one, get one free kinds of deals, which to me is much more obvious benefit? You see sometimes in the chemist shop you've got vitamin tablets, and you've got a 1,000-gram bottle and a 500-gram bottle, and they stick them together and they say you're buying this and you're getting another 50% on. Now that is an obvious benefit. The card doesn't work for me because I can't see the benefit.
I think the buy one get one free trend has obviously come across to us from Europe primarily, and some of the stats coming out of Q1 2013 in the UK, over 50% of items were bought or sold on promotion. So promotion is the order of the day, and as I said before, I think the process is about offering that value intrinsically. So the consumer obviously gets the buy one get one free, and they get the benefit of the loyalty card. So there's two aspects or two tiers of the value that they're gaining. But it's really important, because if you don't offer that, if you're not promoting in this current environment, you're not going to secure the shoppers into your store. And that's, I think, the key factor.
So, Gendry, the tablets, the gadgets, the internet access that you have when you're walking through a shop now on your phone or whatever it is that you've bought, that's the next step, isn't it? How do you take these cards, which are going to look quite archaic? Aren't these little cards that we have going to look like faxes? You know, out of date before long, eh? It's all going to be done online.
That's it. So you're going to get virtual vouchers, which you will get a code on your cell phone, and you can just redeem it. And once we have near field contactless technology, you're just going to scan your barcode off your phone, and that's how it will work. That's definitely on the cards. It has been thought of in South Africa as well. It's just how quickly you get it to the market, and it's in the law. It's basically in the development phase in South Africa.
Gareth, do you sense that people are, online shopping is big in the United States?
Yes.
In fact, a lot of people only shop online now. They don't go to the shops.
Yeah.
Here, I think it's going to take longer to get in, but how does that fit into what we've been talking about?
Absolutely, it's the key driver to determine the future, because I think the smartphone growth has been astronomical in South Africa. So almost in a way, you have the lower end consumer bypassing the whole fixed line, the whole computer, but you get straight into a fast, smartphone, and he's got internet access. I would say we're about 20 odd million in terms of our population now, so we're not holistic in any way. But as that changes, David, I think your mid-tiered income groups are going to be the swingers. They're going to create the shift that's required. Overseas, there's an on-off option as well, in terms of you were referring to online shopping only. There's all sorts of emerging tiers in between the traditional in-store shop and the online shop. So on-off shopping is where you go in store and you've got all the benefits that you would have had if you were online. In other words, a big screen, and you can go through and check the brochure, etc. We also have seen click and collect, which is a concept in the UK now, where you buy your groceries online, but you don't have them delivered. You in fact go past the store on your way home. There's a lane, it's almost like a drive-through, and your groceries get delivered. So I think there's going to be a lot more of that type of innovation. And where is South Africa in that? Well, I think we're not there yet, but we are going to close the gap quite fast.
But again, all of this is about building the brand so that when you do that, it's a particular retailer you go to, or a particular bank or service provider.
Absolutely.
Well, fascinating discussion.